Now we start with the second video, very important video, equation of progressive wave. First we'll try to derive the equation of progressive wave. Second thing is that we are going to get four types of the same equation into four different types. And the third thing that we have to do is to solve problems comparing the equations given in the problems with that which we have evaluated out. So the first thing we are going to do is to form the equations. Now for that we have to first understand what is a progressive wave. I have already discussed about the progressive wave in the previous video. A wave which propagates through a medium in a fixed direction. A wave which propagates through a medium in a fixed direction is called a progressive wave in one dimension. That means progressive means it is progressing, moving forward, or rather propagates in a particular direction. Now suppose if due to the propagation of this wave, the particles in the medium are subjected to forced simple harmonic motions, or the particles are vibrating standing in their own position. The wave reaches any two different particles at two different times. This is very important to understand. The wave reaches any two different particles. Suppose there is one particle, this is another particle. Many more particles are here. If the wave reaches this particle, wave means flow of energy. So flow of energy reaches this particle at a certain time. Now when the energy and the particle starts to oscillate, the energy just flows from one particle to another till it reaches this particle. That means when this particle has started its oscillation, this particle was at rest because time is needed for energy to flow from this particle to this particle or cover up this distance. When the energy has traveled this part, then the particle starts to oscillate. That means there will be a time gap between the starting of the oscillations of these two particles. So in one line we can say the wave reaches any two different particles at two different times. There arises a time lag. So what happens here? There occurs a time lag. Now this time lag, or you can say in other words, also you can say phase lag also, time lag or phase lag. This time lag or phase lag depends on the velocity of the wave which travels from left to right. This phase lag or time lag depends on velocity of wave. The wave was moving from left to right, suppose, from this direction to this direction. Now each particle starts vibrating later than its predecessor on the left. So this was the particle, the predecessor of this particle towards the left. So the phase of a particle lags behind that of any other particle on its left. That means the phase of a particle lags behind that of any other particle on its left, because this particle has started earlier. This particle has started a little bit of time later. So this particle has a phase lag. This one has a phase lag. This one has a phase lead. Now if you take a simple diagram, the wave is moving. This is the displacement graph. This is not the wave graph. This is the particle displacement graph. Don't mistake it for a wave determination graph, because wave travels in the form of wave fronts, as I've already discussed in the previous videos. Wave travels, this is the source, wave travels along wave fronts. This is the particle displacement graph. We can take some particles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different particles. This point as O. This is the y-axis, x-axis. Now we take any point P here. Any point P. Suppose this point is P here. So one particle we consider it consider to be at point O, and another particle to be at P. Now suppose this one is at O, this one is at P. What happens? The positive direction of x-axis chosen for the direction of propagation of the progressive wave or the flow of energy. O is the origin, as you all know it. Now the particles of the medium vibrate simple harmonically. The displacement of the particle at O, what you can write? The displacement of particle at O, we can take that equation to be y is equal to a sine of omega t. Now you all know what is A. It is the amplitude. Omega is the angular frequency. Omega is the angular frequency of the SHM executed by the particle. Again I am mentioning this is the angular frequency of the SHM executed by the particle and not the wave. So y is equal to a sine omega t. Now what happens if we take the particle, or rather consider the particle at point P? We will try to write the equation of the particle at position P. Now the displacement equation, or rather displacement of particle at P. Now what happens? We can write this equation to be like this: y is equal to a sine of omega t dash. Now why there is a difference of time value? You have written a t, here you have written as t dash, because as I have already stated, both the particles do not start at the same time. Energy has flown into this particle first and then into this particle, so there is a time lag between them. So these two particles don't start at the same time, they do not start at the same time. So what is the relation between t and t dash? You can write t dash is equal to t minus x by v. We take the displacement of this point to be x, and the velocity of the wave, or rather the velocity of energy flow. You can write v is the velocity of energy flow. V is the velocity of the energy flow. With respect to time, we have studied it. So t minus x by v. Why I have written t minus x by v? Because the first particle that is at the position, or the particle at position O, has started earlier. This particle will start later. So how much time later? X by v, the time required by the wave to move from position O to point P. This is the time lag. So I have subtracted the time lag portion from t to get t dash. So these two equations we have. So y is equal to a sine of omega t dash. Instead of t dash, I am replacing t minus x by v. Now this is the equation of the particle at point P. At point P. Now if the wave would have been moving in the reverse direction, or in the negative x direction, so negative x direction wave flow or energy flow, you can write, then the equation would have been y is equal to a sine of omega t plus x by v. Omega t plus x by v. That means the sign before this component x, this variable x, we take it as minus x, so minus minus becomes plus. So this is the equation we will be studying in detail to get its various forms. Now suppose trying to form the different forms of this equation. So I am going to write the equation a sine of omega t minus x by v. This is the first type. Now in this part we can write a sine of omega t minus omega x by v, taking omega into the bracket. Now what happens? A sine omega t minus kx. In some books you will find it written as a sine of kx minus omega t. Now omega by v is equal to k. We all know what is k. K is angular wave number. Now how this is formed? Why omega by v becomes k? Now omega by v. Omega is 2 pi n and v is equal to n lambda. N is the frequency. N lambda, you all know it. So n gets cancelled out. 2 pi by lambda. Now what was 2 pi by lambda? It was k. So we can replace omega by v by k, with k, sorry. So y is equal to, this is another form. This is the first form. So I have been able to derive the second form of the equation. Moving on to the third form. So y is equal to, you can derive any form from any other form you like. I have already derived this form, so I am going to derive another form from this form. You can also derive the third form from the first form also. Now what you can do, we can write omega as 2 pi by t into t minus k is equal to 2 pi by lambda into x. The value of k was 2 pi by lambda. Now we take 2 pi common, so t by t minus x by lambda. So this is the third form. Now another form you can write like this. If you take the first form, let us take a sine of omega into t minus x by v. Now if we take v common, omega by v, that means becomes vt minus x. Now what is omega by v? Omega by v is a sine of, omega by v was equal to k, so it becomes k into vt minus x. Again, what is k? 2 pi by lambda vt minus x. So the third form becomes y is equal to a sine of 2 pi by lambda vt minus x. So this one is the third form. Now particle velocity and acceleration of a progressive wave. So particle velocity and wave velocity are two different things. I have already studied in the previous video. Displacement of particle in a progressive wave, y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. Now if I do the partial differentiation, we get the velocity of particle. So v is equal to del y by del t. So del y by del t, this is not dy by dt but del y by del t. So del means partial differentiation. So we are going to find the derivative of this form. So del y means we have only to find the derivative of the term with the t, because we are derivating with respect to t. So only this part will be taken into consideration and not this part, because there is no t here. So the value will be omega a cos of omega t minus kx. So we can write v is equal to v naught cos of omega t minus kx. Now v naught is called the velocity amplitude. V naught is known as the velocity amplitude. So this is the equation or the value of the velocity of the particle. Now from this we can derive v is equal to omega into a square minus y square. I have already derived this formula when I was discussing simple harmonic motion, so I am not going to derive it again. V is equal to omega into root over a square minus y square. Now the phase difference between a sine function and a cosine function you all know is 90. So the phase difference between displacement y and velocity v is also 90. I repeat, phase difference between displacement y and velocity v is also 90. Again we find the acceleration by doing the second order derivative of this function. So it becomes minus omega square a sine of omega t minus kx. So you can write minus omega square a sine of omega t minus kx. So this is the value for, or the equation for the acceleration. Now I've already derived a is equal to minus omega square y, because y is a sine of omega t minus kx. So it becomes a is equal to minus omega square y. I've already derived this in the chapter of SHA. Now one important relation, very important relation between wave velocity and particle velocity. Now y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. This is the angular velocity of the wave and this is the displacement of the particle. So again, particle velocity del y by del t, as I've already discussed it in the previous section, a omega cos omega t minus kx. Again, del y by del x. So first case, the equation was taken into consideration and the velocity with respect to, the derivative was done with respect to term t or time t. Now we are evaluating the derivative with respect to displacement x. So del y by del x becomes minus ka cos of omega t minus kx. As this is partial differentiation, so we have to take into consideration the term which is related to x, that is kx, and not omega t. This was with respect to t, so we are taking into account this term, but here it is derivative with respect to x, so we have taken into account this term, the term related to x. So minus k cos of omega t minus kx. Now if we can divide these two equations, that means this one and this one, so we can write v by del y by del x. We are dividing these two equations. We get a omega cos of omega t minus kx by minus ka cos of omega t minus kx. So cos of omega t minus kx cancel, a and a gets cancelled, so becomes minus omega by k. Minus omega by k. Now again, omega by k was v, because we have already derived that k was equal to omega by v. So omega by k is v, or rather the wave velocity. This is the wave velocity. So v is equal to minus v del y del x. This is the relation between the particle velocity and the wave velocity. So this small v was the particle velocity. This small v was the particle velocity. The capital V is the wave velocity. Now the differential equation of progressive wave. We are trying to derive the differential equation of progressive wave. Again we take the equation y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. I have already stated that in some books you will find the equation written as a sine of kx minus omega t plus minus phi, another phase. So I am taking the simplest form, y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. Already we have derived that del square y by del t square was minus omega square a sine of omega t minus kx. So the double derivative or double partial derivative del square y by del t square was in this form. Again del square y by del x square we can write as minus k square a sine of omega t minus kx. Now we are again dividing these two equations, this equation and this equation. Now we are going to divide, if we take this equation to be number 1 and this to be number 2, we are going to do 2 by 1 and not 1 by 2. So del square y by del x square by del square y by del t square is equal to minus k square a sine of omega t minus kx by omega square a sine of omega t minus kx. A gets cancelled and the full sine terms gets cancelled. Minus minus cancel becomes k square by omega square. Now what was k square by omega square? Again we can write it as 1 by v square, where v was the value of wave velocity. So del square y by del x square is equal to 1 by v square del square y by del t square by cross multiplying. So this is the relation between, it is the differential equation of the progressive wave. This equation is known as the differential equation of the progressive wave. Now conversely, if any one-dimensional disturbance satisfies this equation, it is obviously a progressive wave. I repeat, conversely, if any one-dimensional disturbance satisfies this equation, it is obviously a progressive wave. Now we are going to discuss a few points about the difference between the particle velocity and the wave velocity. Now the particle of a medium in a progressive wave do not change their positions due to their velocities. Every particle only vibrates on both sides of its mean position, but the progressive wave advances through the medium with its wave velocity. Now again we take these two particles. The particles vibrate in this fashion by staying at their original positions. They do not change their positions due to their velocities. So they move like this and the wave propagates in this fashion. So every particle only vibrates on both sides of its mean position. This is the mean position, but the progressive wave advances through the medium wave, or you can call energy. Now point number 2, you can say the velocities of the particles of the medium change continuously. It is maximum at the mean position. That means the velocity of oscillation of the particle is not the same at every point of its vibration. The velocity value of the particles of the medium change continuously. But wave velocity remains constant for a particular medium. It depends only on the properties of the medium. So wave velocity is constant. Wave velocity is constant for that medium because wave velocity depends on the properties of the medium. But for a particle vibration, at every point the value of velocity is different. Now the third point, we can say the progressive wave possesses energy due to the motion of the particles of the medium. This energy propagates with the wave through the medium with the velocity of the wave. Fourth point, in a transverse wave, the direction of particle velocity is perpendicular to that of the wave velocity. On the other hand, for a longitudinal wave, these two values are parallel to each other. So here are a few points to describe the difference between the particle velocity and wave velocity. Now, velocity of progressive wave in different media. So if you consider different medium, how to write the equations of the velocity of either transverse or longitudinal wave. Now first one, we can write velocity of a longitudinal wave. I am writing in short. Velocity of a longitudinal wave in a solid medium. Now solid medium, it can expand only in one direction, so Young's modulus of the medium comes into play. So V is equal to Young's modulus by rho. This is Y is the Young's modulus. And we all know rho is the density of the medium. Rho is the density of medium. Now if we take another formula, suppose velocity of a longitudinal wave, same thing but for a liquid or gaseous medium. Velocity of longitudinal wave for a liquid or gaseous medium, we can write V is equal to square root of E by rho. Now what is E? E is the bulk modulus. In some books you will find it in as K, either E or K. This is the bulk modulus, because we all know bulk modulus is related to the volume. So you can write E instead of Y for a solid medium. Now velocity of sound wave in a gaseous medium. Velocity of sound wave in a gaseous medium. So V is equal to, we can write gamma P by rho. Gamma P by rho. Already we have studied what is gamma. Cp by Cv, ratio of the two specific heats of the gas. Suppose we take another formula. Velocity of transverse wave in a straight string. We can write V is equal to square root of T by M. Transverse wave in a straight string means already we discussed this thing. We can plug this string here, so a wave will flow like this. So this is the transverse wave, because the particles are oscillating in a direction perpendicular to the flow of energy. This is a straight string, so we can stretch it by applying weights here. The tension, the more the tension, more is the velocity of the wave. That means the stretching mark, okay, the stretch force, the stretching force, more the stretching force, more is the velocity of the transverse wave. So becomes T by M. Now what is T? T is the tension or the force. And what is M? It is the mass per unit length. Don't mistake it for only mass of the wire. It is the mass per unit length of the wire. And another thing, it is the velocity of a longitudinal wave in a straight string, that is similar to the longitudinal wave in a solid medium. I am not writing that. Velocity of a longitudinal wave in a straight string is similar to the number one case, velocity of longitudinal wave in a solid medium. The same formula, V is equal to square root of gamma by rho. Now velocity of an electromagnetic wave, we will study this thing in class 12 and not now, but I can tell you the formula now. Number 5, velocity of electromagnetic wave, EM wave, is 1 by square root of mu by epsilon. Mu is the permittivity of space and epsilon is the permeability of space. Now mathematical problems. We discuss 2 or 3 problems. Let us first take the first problem. It is given that let's suppose the equation of progressive wave written as y is equal to 15 sine of 660 pi t minus 0.02 pi x centimeter. They have asked us to find the frequency and velocity of the wave. Frequency and velocity of wave. Now the thing that I told you as I was starting the video, that we will be studying the 4 types of equations, the 4 formats of the same equation. Now this is the equation. We have to compare it with the standard forms, that is the 4 standard forms, and see which one can be similar to this. Now the first formula you can write it as y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. If we compare this with this equation, then it fits right into this equation. Omega t, t term, kx, x term. So from here we can write omega is equal to 660 pi. Comparing these two equations, what is written in place of omega? 660 pi. 660 pi. And what is written instead of x? 0.02 pi. Now from these two we have been asked to find the frequency. So omega, we know it is 2 pi n. N is the frequency, 660 pi. So pi gets cancelled. N is equal to 330 hertz. Second one was the velocity of the wave. Now what is k? K is so k is 0.02 pi. What is k? 2 pi by lambda. 0.02 pi. 0.02 pi. So you can write 2 pi by 100. 2 pi by lambda. So what is lambda? 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. Now we all know the formula v is equal to n lambda. So n is 330 into 100. So it becomes 33000 centimeters per second, and to shorten it we can write 330 meters per second. So v is equal to 330 meters per second. Now second problem, we are given the values of amplitude, frequency and wavelength, 10 centimeter, 500 hertz and 100 centimeters. Write the equation of progressive wave. Then the wave is propagating along the negative x-axis. So the equation can be written as y is equal to a sine of negative direction of x-axis means omega into t plus x by v. So we have to find out the values of these terms a, omega and v. Because here t and x are variable quantities. So what is a? Already have given 10. Now what is omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi n. So 2 pi into n means frequency 500 hertz. So it becomes 1000 pi radian per second. So we have already found out what is omega. Now what is v? V means the velocity of the wave. V is equal to n lambda. Now n means frequency and lambda means wavelength. So 500 into 100, that means 50000 centimeters per second. Or we can write 5 into 10 to the power 4 centimeters per second. 5 into 100, because the values of frequency and wavelength is 500 and 100 respectively. So 5 into 10 to the power 4 centimeters per second. So you can write the equation in the form of y is equal to 10 sine of, what was omega? Omega was 1000 pi into t plus x by v, 5 into 10 to the power 4 centimeters.